In these videos, we'll be sharing with you the bare essentials to make your ideations and brainstorms rock. My name is Yuri, I'm from The Magic Sauce. This is part 2, where we'll be talking about the things to do during an ideation. Last video was about what to do before, and after this will be a video about what to do after you have a bunch of ideas. So let's get into it. By this time, you'll have prepared for your ideation. You've understood the brief, planned the session, and then ran through the entire thing as if it was already happening. Now let's look at some of the things to do in the room when you're running the session. A big caveat from us is this is by no means complete. We just wanted to give you some of the basic building blocks to get started. The 3 bare essentials we'll be sharing with you in this video are setting the tone, immersing in the brief, and capture output. First bit, remember this one, energy in equals energy out. If you're not excited about this, most likely other people won't be excited about this either. So how you set the tone at the beginning will most likely dictate how everybody else is going to be. When a bunch of people come to your session, you don't know where their head's at. They might have a lot of work going on, they might be cynical, they might have some preconceived ideas, they might have low energy, they might have high energy. Everybody most likely will be at different energy levels and people will have different expectations. This is making sure that everybody's on the same page. I would always start off by welcoming people to the room. Now maybe this is you, maybe this is somebody else, but welcome and thank people for coming. Good morning everybody. Thank you for taking the time for this important session. So then I would roughly take people through these things. Now I'm going to do this here on the board. You might have slides, you might have pictures, maybe you've sent them an invite before they even walked into the room. But I would always communicate these 3 basic things, and I hope you can see this. So the first one here is purpose. Purpose is all about why are you here? Setting the wider context. Why did you invite people in the room? The second one is payoff. What are you going to have at the end of the session? This is about giving people a clear understanding of where you're going to get to. At the end of this session, we're going to have a simple strategy with 3 solutions to bring people into our stores. Process. So now people know why they're there, where you're going to go, how are you going to do that? The first thing we're going to do is talk about the brief and unpack it a little bit more. We're going to have Anna, who's going to be talking about what we're doing with retail. Then we're going to spend 45 minutes generating a whole bunch of ideas, and then we're going to spend the last hour picking the top ideas and working them up into more rigorous business plans. So at a minimum, take people through these. Why are we here? What do we want at the end? And how we're going to get there. By this time, you'll have set the tone for the workshop. People know why they are there. They know you're going to share a brief with them. You're going to give them some time to digest. You're going to build a bunch of ideas. And then finally, you're going to select and refine the ones you want to take forward. Now it's time to immerse in the brief, because you have already spent a lot of time in the last week working on this brief. Your brain is filled with information about this. You got that from Q&A ping pong, from going through the research, from talking to people. You have lots of information, but a lot of people in the room might not have the same. So it's important that you give them a download of that brief. After sharing the brief, we would always give people time to digest, to discuss, and to ask questions. The burning questions which they need to get off their minds. Quick tip here is you can do this in a group setting, but that can sometimes lead to off-track conversation and discussions, which take a long time. So rather than doing that, we put people into small teams, maybe 3 or 4 per team, give them time to digest what you've just told them, and then together discuss and come up with their top questions to ask. After that, per group, get them to shoot back a question. This will save you a bit of time and it will keep the energy up. So you've given them information, they've asked questions which you've answered, so now they have some more context around the brief. I would now give them time to immerse a bit more in that brief. This is a way to quickly get stimulus around things that are directly and indirectly related to the brief. And here's how it works. Assuming that you are in a room with some wall space, you hang up 4 pieces of paper And on the pieces of paper, you write things like, what do we know about our audience? What's our competition doing? What are other shops doing? What trends are we seeing when it comes to shopping? And then I would always add one wall that says starter ideas, because by the time people run through this activity, they will have some ideas. Tell them that it's fine, make sure to capture them on a piece of paper and put them on the wall. So let me give you an example of how that could work. Behind me is a piece of paper that says trends in shopping. Ask each person to stand up. When you're standing up, it has a different energy from sitting down. Go towards one of the walls, one of the pieces of paper you have up, give them a bunch of post-its and a pen and ask them to write down everything they know, things they've read, things they've seen, things they've heard. Bespoke and customized products are hot. Brand politics and brand transparency is now a big thing. There's a much bigger split between the people who can afford and the people who can't afford. Companies are spending big money on AR and clever technology. It's important to remind them to capture things. If they're having a great discussion about a report they read in the Wall Street Journal the other day, great, fantastic. Make sure you capture that and put it up on the wall. After a couple of minutes, you can see the energy is going down, you've emptied their brains, you say thank you very much, move on to the next wall, and you rotate people around the room. So this is also a good time to point out to them that if they have any ideas, feel free to capture it on a piece of paper and put it on the wall. Ask teams to stay in a corner next to a sheet. Give them a couple of minutes to look through all the bits and pieces that are up there, and with their team, cluster and get ready to present back. So you can go through each corner and say, cool, tell me what's going on with our competitors. Thank you for doing that. Tell me all about the trends in shopping. And you go around the room that way. This is an easy way to make it a lot more interactive and gets them to really wrap their heads around the brief at hand. By this time, their heads will be exploding with information about that brief. Now it's time to start building ideas. Of course, by this time, you'll have let them know that now it's time to generate ideas. It's not time to judge any ideas in for now, and that they will have a chance to judge and criticize later. All right, so now they're off. You've asked them to generate ideas, you put them into teams, maybe pairs, maybe bigger groups, whatever works for you. You've given them some stimulus, you've given them activities to do, and you walk by, you go like, this is great, they're having ideas, it's working. But nobody's capturing anything. What good are these ideas if they just stay in your head? It is crucial that they capture output. Capturing ideas is a bit like landing planes, somebody once told me. Imagine that you're in a flight tower and there's all these flights coming in from all different directions and they all want to land. But you cannot land them at the same time, so you're going to have to land them one by one. Capturing ideas is a little bit like that. So let us show you a simple way that works for us. We'll leave a link below here. You can download these templates and make them your own. I was sitting there with Janice from accounting and Lee from the sales team, and we were talking about. So the idea is basically a red carpet that ends up in our store, and then a big sign that says welcome. Make people feel like they're a big star on the red carpet. So that's an idea. Is this a great idea? We don't know that yet. Does it matter? It doesn't matter, but we're going to capture it. We're excited about this idea. So the idea was, I'm going to write this down here. So there we have it. We've just described the idea in a way that if I were to show this to somebody else, they'd kind of get what it is. Now, how we're going to technically do this, where we're going to get the carpet, how do we get sign-off from the malls, those are all very important, but right now, this is a single idea. The next point, draw the idea. We're not looking for an art piece, we're looking for a simple way to do this. All right, so it's something like this. So now we brought it to life, we're going to add a title. A title doesn't have to be clever, it's just a simple way to remember the idea. So let's just call it Red Carpet. So there you have it, a super simple way to capture ideas. It's not the best way, it is a way to get you started. And now you can start selecting the ones you want to push forward.